Have you ever noticed how easy it is to complain? How natural it feels to blame circumstances, people, or even the past for the things that go wrong in our lives? It's almost like second nature. We tell ourselves, if only I had more time, or if they hadn't done that to me, I'd be successful by now. We point fingers at the economy, at our upbringing, at that one mistake we made years ago. But what if I told you that every single time you complain, you give away your power? The moment you stop complaining, something profound happens. You start to realize how much control you actually have, not over the world, not over other people, but over yourself. And that's where true power lies. The power to respond instead of react. The power to shift your mindset. The power to create. Because while you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. We live in a world obsessed with control, controlling outcomes, controlling perceptions, controlling others. But most people skip the one thing they can and should master first, their own mindset. Complaining is a form of mental surrender. It's choosing to focus on what's wrong instead of what could be made right. And that choice becomes a habit that slowly eats away at your confidence, your hope, and your energy. When your mind is stuck in a negative loop, blaming and complaining, it's like being in a fog. You can't see clearly. You can't feel your own strength. You're reacting to life instead of creating it. And the longer you stay in that mindset, the more powerless you feel. You start to believe the lie that you are a victim of life rather than the architect of it. But here's the truth. The second you decide to stop complaining, even silently in your mind, is the second you begin reclaiming your inner strength. You begin to see that the past doesn't define you. It teaches you. That failure doesn't defeat you, it prepares you. That obstacles don't stop you, they redirect you. You stop asking, why me, and start asking, what now? Blaming others, whether it's your parents, your ex, your boss, or even society, might feel good in the moment. It gives you a temporary sense of righteousness, but it leaves you in the same place, powerless and stagnant. That's not the energy that builds empires. That's not the mindset that leads to greatness. Negative thinking is not just emotionally draining. It's mentally toxic. It rewires your brain to expect the worst, to see threats where there are opportunities, to believe that you're doomed before you've even started. It closes doors before you can open them, and worst of all, it blinds you to your own potential. Manifestation isn't just a trend or a wishful fantasy. It's a mindset discipline. It's the practice of aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you want to create in your life. It's about clarity, belief, and consistent positive focus. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and resentment, that's what you'll attract. But if your mind is filled with vision, peace, and confidence, the world starts to shift in your favor. You have to protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Every time you complain, you weaken your frequency. Every time you speak negatively, you jinx your own path. Your words are seeds. If you keep planting bitterness, don't be surprised when you harvest disappointment. Complaining about life instead of creating the life you want is a betrayal of your own potential. It's trading your destiny for temporary emotional relief. And it's time to stop. The people who rise, the ones who change their lives and inspire others, are not the ones who had perfect pasts or flawless circumstances. They are the ones who decided to stop letting excuses run their lives. They faced their reality, accepted it, and decided to build anyway. Positivity is not naive, it's powerful. It's not ignoring problems. It's choosing to believe that problems can be solved. It's the decision to focus your mind on solutions instead of staying trapped in endless loops of complaint. You are more powerful than your past. You are stronger than your mistakes. You are greater than your environment. And the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your mindset. Once you take responsibility for your thoughts, your words, and your reactions, you unlock a version of yourself that's been waiting to rise. This isn't just about being happy. This is about becoming clear, focused, and aligned. When you stop complaining, you start noticing your ability to influence outcomes. You start seeing opportunities that you were blind to before. You start taking action, not because things are perfect, but because you no longer wait for perfection to begin. You stop being afraid of failure because you realize failure is just feedback. You stop fearing judgment because you know your value isn't dependent on others' approval. You stop waiting for external validation and start validating yourself through consistent action and growth. Let go of the past, it's over. Let go of the people who hurt you, they're gone. Let go of the circumstances that didn't go your way. They were lessons, not life sentences. You can't move forward while dragging the weight of resentment and blame. Free yourself, not for them, but for you. Start observing your thoughts like a guardian. Every time you catch yourself complaining or thinking negatively, stop and ask, is this thought empowering me or weakening me? Is this reaction moving me closer to my goals or pulling me away? Is this the mindset of the person I want to become? Train your mind like you would train a muscle. Refuse to dwell in mental states that keep you small. Build habits of gratitude, clarity, and forward motion. Speak life into your vision. Speak truth into your power. Speak peace into your process. This doesn't mean you ignore your emotions or pretend everything's fine when it's not. It means you allow yourself to feel, but you don't let your feelings become your identity. You process, you learn, you grow, and you move. When you catch yourself blaming others, stop and ask, how can I take responsibility here? What can I learn? What can I do better next time? This is how you become the leader of your own life. Stop waiting for external change. Create internal change. Everything begins there. You'll be shocked by how your reality shifts when your mind does. Your relationships improve. Your health improves. Your energy returns. Opportunities begin to appear. Not by magic, but because you've raised your awareness and taken back your power. You were not born to be a prisoner of your past. You were not created to be ruled by fear or bitterness. You were built to overcome, to evolve, to rise. But that can only happen when you stop feeding the mental patterns that keep you in chains. One of the most underestimated causes of stagnation in life is the habit of verbalizing defeat. Words matter. They are spells. When you complain, you cast spells of weakness over your life. When you declare that you are tired, broke, unlucky, or cursed, you are literally inviting more of that reality into your experience. To prevent jinxing your goals, your progress, or your manifestations, you have to become intentional with your language. Be mindful of what you say about yourself, even in jest. Be careful with sarcasm that masks real frustration. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a joke and a declaration. Speak only what you want to grow. If you say, nothing ever works out for me, your mind will start filtering your life to find proof of that. If you say, I always figure things out, guess what? Your mind will go to work proving that too. That's the power of attention. That's the law of manifestation in action. You become what you focus on. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm learning how. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, say, I'm navigating a transition. Instead of, I never get a break, say, I'm preparing for my breakthrough. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about aligning your language with your intentions. It's about speaking from faith, not fear. Manifestation begins with belief, but it ends with action. You can't just think positively while doing nothing. You have to meet your mindset with movement. That means showing up even on days when you don't feel like it. It means making decisions aligned with the person you want to become, not the person you're trying to leave behind. You don't rise by waiting. You rise by choosing. Every day is a chance to choose power over pity, discipline over distraction, creation over complaint. It's a battle, but it's one worth fighting. Because the version of you that wins that battle is unstoppable. There is peace in taking responsibility, not guilt, not shame, just peace. Because when you take full responsibility for your life, you no longer have to wait on anything outside of you to change. You realize that your freedom was never held hostage by the world. It was waiting for you to claim it. The truth is, we've all been hurt, we've all failed, we've all been let down. But the ones who move forward are the ones who stop using pain as an excuse and start using it as fuel. They don't deny their wounds. They turn them into wisdom. So ask yourself, who am I becoming every time I complain? What future am I manifesting with the thoughts I think and the words I speak? What reality am I building with the energy I choose? Your mind is the first battlefield. Win there, and the rest will follow. Start each day by setting the tone. Choose thoughts that empower, speak words that affirm, take actions that align. Every time you do, you gain momentum. You gain clarity, you gain strength. This isn't just about positivity, it's about mastery, mental mastery, emotional mastery, spiritual mastery. And from that place, life bends in your favor. Not because it's easy, but because you've become strong enough to shape it. You can feel the difference between a life led by blame and one led by ownership. One drains you, the other elevates you. One keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't need permission to shift. You don't need anyone to change. You don't need the perfect situation. You just need to decide, right now, to stop complaining, to stop feeding the negativity, to stop waiting for the past to undo itself, and instead to start creating, to start focusing, to start becoming. Be the person who walks into a room and brings solutions instead of more problems. Be the one who uplifts instead of brings down. Be the energy you wish others had. That's how you shift the world, by first shifting yourself. The moment you stop complaining is the moment you begin manifesting from power, not from pain. The moment you take full responsibility is the moment your future opens up. The moment you stop blaming what you can't control is the moment you begin mastering what you can. And that moment is now. This is your reminder that your power has always been within you. Not in the hands of others, not in the past, not in some distant future, but right here, right now, in your thoughts, in your choices, in your words, in your energy. So stop complaining, start creating, stop blaming, start building, stop doubting, start believing. Your power is waiting. Reclaim it.